Hey guys, Crypto Sunday, and it's a red week as expected. About 5,000 down, mostly altcoins this week, but it's sort of mainly being driven by sort of macro events rather than crypto specific news. Just having a quick look at sort of some of the news. There was some sort of Solana specific stuff, a bit of a hack on yet another DeFi platform, about $114 million hack. But the chap has agreed to return 67 million of it, and has sort of said that it wasn't a hack, it was an exploit in the way that the smart contracts were run, from what I can see. So yeah, he's come out publicly, on Twitter saying yes, it was me, but it was all legal. So really a sort of kick up the backside to tighten up these smart contracts and sort of rules and regulations. So yeah, my thoughts stay the same. Not keen on sort of these DeFi lending platforms for the most part, and yeah, just think we need to sort of get rid of some of this. But on the sort of more main crypto side, ARK analyst is sort of warning that the lower volatility, sort of some might be seeing as a good thing, isn't necessarily a good thing. Sort of can mean we're in for a big move. Could potentially be an up move, but I think you've got to sort of see this as potentially a down move. So just looking at the chart, a lot of people are sort of plotting this descending triangle that we've been in for sort of since the June lows, really. And yeah, it does sort of show less volume and sort of lower volatility compared to sort of the previous larger drops. And you can sort of see even more volume there. And yeah, we're going into a sort of very, very low up and down period, sort of towards the end of this triangle, which sort of does come to an end at the end of this month, and the price would often sort of break out up or down before the end of these triangles if you look at them in the past. So people are expecting a big move either up or down. I think probably towards the downside is more likely. And also noticing Bob Lucas, sort of quite a popular macro and sort of crypto cycle theory guy, sort of very big on cycle theory for lots of different asset classes, stocks and gold and that sort of thing. And he's sort of saying the cycle low potentially on the larger time frame is sort of coming around November the 10th. So sort of coming to the end of this triangle and sort of maybe having a breakdown lower, sort of over those few weeks really is a real possibility. And sort of I've still got a little bit of cash waiting to sort of potentially buy that dip. So yeah, the next few weeks potentially could be interesting. But really, we are still going down on sort of macro data. So interest rates are still going to be sort of dominated by these inflation numbers. Thursday, you had the US sort of big inflation numbers, and the sort of key one I think people were noticing was core CPI, which the Fed seem to focus on more than sort of normal CPI, because that includes energy prices and food, which they don't like to include for some reason, just because they're volatile. And the core was higher than August's, so 0.6% for September, up from 0.5%, and they want this to be sort of 2% on an annual basis. So really coming down to 0.1%, 0.2%, or 0% really. So 6.6% still on the annual. I do think you need to sort of keep an eye on the monthly as well as just the annual. People are sort of wanting this to come, saying until this gets to 2, they're not going to stop raising rates. But I think if you were to start seeing sort of 0.2%, 0.1% on the monthly, then people would sort of project that out to a year, and you might be at 4% on the annual, and people start thinking that's it, because it would just roll off as the monthlies carry on at 0.1%. So yeah, I think you need to be sort of a little bit more forward looking than some people are. But yeah, the normal CPI, sort of including everything, was higher as well, 0.2% last month and 0.4% this month. But yeah, depending on where that sort of sits as well, in the next sort of few months, that's still more towards sort of 3-4% inflation, if that sort of comes back down to 0.2%. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I do think this is obviously going to drive crypto prices if people think interest rates are going to carry on going up into next year. I still think they won't. I think something, if not sort of inflation coming down, then something could break like it did in sort of late or mid to late 2019. We only got to sort of, I forget what it was, 2.5% back then, and sort of the markets hit a bit of a rough patch, the sort of lending markets between banks and institutions. So yeah, I don't think we can take 4.55% as some people are sort of saying by early next year. So we'll see. But yeah, potentially a sort of November bottom would be interesting. So just having a quick look at the coins for the week. Bitcoin sort of not down all that much, 2%. Ethereum only down 3%. It's really the sort of smaller altcoins that have not fared all that well. Cardano down 13%. This is sort of after their big hard fork upgrade, but yeah, it didn't really go all that much up on that upgrade. Solana down 9.5%. We're getting towards a sort of target that I wouldn't mind buying, but if we are going to have a larger sort of drop in the market, then we'd probably expect that to go a lot lower. XRP down 7%. Also Chainlink down 7%. Again, sort of waiting to buy Chainlink on that low, hopefully. Kronos only down 3%, so not too bad for them. Power Ledger down 9%, similar to sort of Solana. Basic Attention Token 5%. Internet Computer 15.8%. I've not seen any sort of particular news to drop this down. It's a very volatile token. Might have to just see and dig a little bit deeper and see if there is any news. Still sort of unsure whether to add to that if we get a big downturn. Maybe just sort of 500 quid would top that up quite nicely and bring my average way down. That's about £16 at the moment still. And Audius down 6%. Again, sort of need to re-look at my metrics and just sort of see how they're doing and whether I want to add to that. Again, sort of, if it comes down much more, £500 is going to double my position pretty much. So yeah, we'll see where we go. So leave your thoughts in comments below, and like and subscribe. See you soon.